Um, I'm thinking about giving. I'm supposed to draw a character over here. One more character. I'm supposed to add this character. I want to add this character. There's this other character I want to add over here. I thought about putting him at this area, but I'm going to change it to this. And I'm just going to. I'm thinking about putting like a finger. Maybe he's like shushing. He's like doing this shush sign. He's doing like this shush sign.
Listen up. Rufus is the name, and eating tweets like you is my game. And right now, I am hungry. Only for Hot to show up. Who stuffs him right back in the locker again. And it just goes on and on and on the same way. Bullies are peppering this dude with spitballs. They hang him from his underpants on a basketball goal. They kick my gross butt to his back. They pull his pants down. They take him to the lockers. I mean, this dude gets ridiculed in every conceivable way. And so at that point, he's in the bathroom running around. He's like, what is happening? I don't understand any of this. Right? It's all wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. How did I not know about the bully wars? And why wasn't I invited? This is unacceptable. I have to get in. And he's like, oh, well, that's exactly what I needed was a goal. That's what I need. I'll regroup, focus. I thought that all this was going to be easy. But that's my fault. I should have known better. It's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. And then he corrects himself. He's like, no. Tomorrow is the day. If they want the Rufus, then I will bring the Rufus. Which I think is hilarious. He's referring to himself in the third person. He's like, bring the Rufus. That's a nice line. I smell a new catchphrase. Good job, you bully you. And so then he realizes there's somebody else in the bathroom with him. And all this courage starts to evaporate because when he looks into the door, there's just like this tail, right? And like this foot that's coming out of the toilet. This dude starts freaking out, having no idea what he's seen. He backs up against the wall and he was like, no, please. I've had the worst day of my life, and I am not sure I can take any more of this. Only for a giant rat to come out of the stall. And then we end up finding out the giant rat is actually a mascot, and it's Spencer. Right? And he's like, look, man, it's cool. I'm going to help you win the bully wars. And so then we switch over to Spencer's house, right? And Rufus tells him, you know that just because I'm at your house does not mean we're friends now, right? And Spencer's like, and you know that just because I invited you to my house, that does not mean that we're friends now. And Rufus is like, yeah, man, we're on the same page. This dude's 100% putting on a front because immediately he turns around and grabs one of the figurines off of Spencer's shelf. And it's like, you have this Century Hawk from Galaxy Mouse. Do you know how rare this is? And Spencer grabs it. It's like, yes, I do know. So I appreciate it if you don't touch it. And he's like, in fact, don't touch anything. If you see stuff that you want to touch, just assume that it's on the list of things you cannot touch. And so in that moment, while Rufus is just totally enamored by all the stuff that Spencer has, he starts putting on the bully. He was like, take it easy, man. Like, I don't want to touch your precious stuff. Anyway, speaking of which, why do you have all this cool stuff? You're a nerd. Right? And at that point, Spencer's like, do you mean like the Galaxy Battle stuff? And Rufus is like, yeah. He's like, you do know who came up with all that stuff. And Rufus is like, yeah, man. Hey.
Hello Joyce. How you doing? How's your day going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi.
Frankly, like, what's your point? And Spencer's like, I hate to break it to you, man, but Hank Frankly is a huge nerd, or at least that's what you'd call him if you were unlucky enough to go to the same school as you. And Rufus is like, there's no way that's true. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Hank Frankly is the king, not some geek. And Spencer breaks out a magazine and is like, what, man? Like, look at this, right? He was a nerd. Like, he says so in this interview from Sci-Fi Quarterly. In fact, it's the whole reason for the rivalry between Darth Vader and Psycho Clownhopper. Right? And so at that point, Edith and Ernie show up here. And so as soon as Ernie and Edith realize that Rufus is here with Spencer, they lose it. Right? Like, why are you hanging out with our enemy? They start losing their minds. But Spencer breaks it down. Right? He's like, no. It's all part of the plan. Right? Here's the plan that I have. Right? So what he tells me, he says, we're going to help Rufus win bully wars. We're going to help him win bully wars. Because he's our bully and he knows us. Which means if he wins, he's the bully for the year. And the deal that we worked out is that he'll leave us alone and bully everybody else. And when Ernie and Edith hear this, they start universe is you don't get to just compete in them. You have to be invited to them. And that's what is pointed out. Rufus doesn't have an invitation. And so Spencer's like, actually, I've got your invitation right here. And he hands it to him. And so as soon as Rufus looks at it, this dude is ecstatic. Because up like that, he goes charging in to Coach Burke's office. And it turns out that Coach Burke, he's the one that's running bully wars. He's running this whole like underground fight club, basically, for bullies, which is pretty sketchy. And so Rufus comes running in and it's just like, I'm Rufus Roughhouse, and I'm here to tell you, like, you are going to give me an invitation to a bully wars. And the coach is like, is that so? Well then, Mr. Roughhouse, please enlighten me. And he says, from the moment I was born, I was meant to be a bully. I continued honing my skills in daycare. By the time I entered elementary school, I was a master. There was no one better at making kids miserable than me. As you can see now, you've made a mistake by not including me in your little games. But once I'm officially invited, you'll find out it won't even be a competition. You're looking at your winner right now. And in that moment, the coach just starts laughing at him. Right? Starts laughing in his face. Like, you call yourself a bully. You come in here and pretend to tell me what I'm going to do. But you and I both know you're begging me to let you compete. I've got news for you, Mr. Roughhouse. It's never going to happen. And he presses this button and sends Rufus basically falling down through the sewer system. And he ends up like exploding out of his foot. But this guy, he's got smart because he goes right back into Coach Burke's office with his invitation in hand. And the coach says, I knew you were a bit slow, but I didn't think that you had completely lost your mind. Yet here you are, barging into my office, smelling like a 3-day-old unflushed urine, which smells putrid. And that's where Rufus is like, you did this to yourself, coach. I suggest you reconsider your position on my entry into the bully wars. And the coach is like, what's this? And the coach is like, why? And Rufus just like slams the invitation into his hand, only to find out it's basically blackmail. The coach was a nerd when he was younger, right? He was playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, here's the thing. D&D is dope. So I don't really understand why this would be a negative. But again, it's all just the tropes of nerds versus bullies, that kind of thing. And so the coach does the only thing he can do. He hands an invitation to Rufus for the bully wars competition. And so that's when you switch over to the planning phase, right? And Spencer says, here's everything you need to know about the students that you will be up against. Right? And he says, I've been compiling information on the bullies of Rottenville for years. I figured if I was going to survive, I would need to know all I could about you guys, about your cons. And so Rufus is like, this is actually kind of awesome that you did this. And so he says, this is the old abandoned Rottenville High School. I have the general layout here, but it's impossible to know what challenges are waiting for you in there. The coach brings up new trash for the gauntlet every year. Lucky for you, I was able to tap into the closed circuit camera feed from the school. So when you get there, you'll need to follow these instructions and make an earpiece. This will allow us to guide you through the maze. Now, let's go over who it is that you're going to be up against. And this is kind of cool, right? So he says, Candy Crush, she's a straight up bruiser. And it'll take more than pure brute strength training to go against her. Bill Gory, he's kind of a modern day Dr. Frankenstein. He's always making these creepy critters. So we'll need to build up your tolerance for all the nasties that he might throw at you, right? Lonnie Ripplestone, the Ripper, he's the metal king of machine shop. And I'm not really even sure he's ever set foot in any other part of the school. So, how tough is your skin? But Nikki Niemann goes by Nom Nom. She's world champion in just about every category of any contest. So, we'll train you in her ways so you can get into her mind. There's Carl Gilgis, also known as Cornbread. He spends his day shoveling cow dung and tossing bales of hay over. So, this guy's got what we call country strength. And that is a whole different level of strength. As Spencer says, he won't be just about strength, but he's going to be about stamina too. So we're going to have to train you so he can keep up with you. Now, those are the main competitors that you'll need to worry about. There are more, but you should be able to deal with all of them pretty easily. And so finally, there's Hawk. I know that you've had a few runs with him already, but he's much, much worse than you can imagine. And I know you can imagine some pretty dark stuff. You can train all you want to beat this guy, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to willpower. Do you want it more than he does? And so with this whole list, one over, right? It's like we have to get ready. Right? The bully wars start tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be a huge day. And so once he gets home don't need it either. Well, you will definitely need it, so you better keep it. And Rufus is like, what? No, I don't need one. You're the one that needs the one. So just shut up and keep it. And Hawk responds and he says, you think I need it, but I gave it to you for a reason. Because you're going to need it if you're going to beat me. You will lose unless you take this luck. So take it. And then Rufus is like, I'm confused. Right? Like, you want me to take the luck so I can beat you? And Hawk's like, no. Why would I want you to win? And Rufus is like, well, I mean, you said good luck. And I was like, I don't need your luck. Then you were all like, yeah, if you want to beat me, then please take my luck and stuff like that. So it kind of sounds like you want me to beat you. And like Hawk starts doing these like math formulas in his head, trying to figure out where it's going. Like, whatever, man, who cares? Let's just get this over with. And the two go charging towards each other. And then Rufus, in this moment, fires off a Hadouken blast on Hawk and like destroys this guy, reduces him to bones. Because who among us as kids did not imagine what it would be like to be able to fire off a Kamehameha blast or go Super Saiyan like that one kid in that video where he screamed for 2.5 minutes straight, or fire off a Hadouken or something along those lines, right? Who among us has not imagined that when we were a little kid? I did. I always wanted to be Trunks. I always thought he was the coolest character. But the point is, once Hawk is reduced to bones in this dream, then Spencer as the rat shows up. And it's like, kind of extreme, don't you think? And Rufus is like, what are you talking about? He was like, I'm just saying, maybe you didn't need to Hadouken the kid into a pile of bones. It seems a bit harsh. Right? And Rufus is like, what do you know about it? And Spencer just said, you've picked on me for years. I know a lot about it. And Rufus is like, whatever, man. Like, that meathead had it coming. He's the worst. And so Spencer responds, and he says, you're not wrong. But you would give him a run for his money, given how much of a bully you are. There is another way to beat people like Hawk. You know, and Rufus is just like, well, I mean, what is it? And Spencer just starts laughing at him. And he's like, what's the answer? Only for us to find out that somehow he didn't know what the school was. And he's saying this out loud in his dream. Come on, tell me how to beat Hawk. And Hawk and his guys are watching it all. So this is like the worst case scenario. Falling asleep on a bus and just saying something embarrassing out loud while you're sleeping. But regardless, once they actually get to the old school, right, that's when the coach shows up. You've got all these bullies here ready to participate in the bullying. And so the coach tells everybody, he says, I am not going to waste time telling you why you're all here. Each of you wants to be the bully to run the school, but only one of you will get that honor. And only one of you will decide the fate of each and every student that enters these doors, hoping to make it through their day with their underwear unstretched and their hair toilet free. As for the rest of you, you'll be thrown back into the rat race that is Rottenville High School, where your undies and precious dues are fair game for whoever wins the bully wars. And he says, speaking of rats and mazes, let's take a look at what you'll be after. And he ends up ripping this giant cloak off of this thing that he's had sitting off to the side. Where we find out he's basically captured Spencer. And he's like, hello, Spencer. Right? And that's a crazy thing because this was not supposed to happen. Right? Spencer was supposed to be the eyes and ears of Rufus, helping him get through the entire thing. And so the coach looks at Rufus and says, what's wrong, kid? Right? Did you really think that your little friend here was going to help you win the whole thing? No one blackmails me and gets away with it. And so the coach says, your goal is simple. Catch the rat, bring him to me, and you win. If any of you are wondering what happens if the rat makes it out of the school before any of you get to him, the answer is easy. Nothing, go. So do yourselves a favor and catch the rat. At that point, he kicks open a trap door. Spencer in his rat costume was crashing down into the house, and we're off to the races. Now, the benefit is that Bernie and Edith are still out there, right? And they're still watching everything go down. And honestly, man, it's like this super high-tech Mission Impossible get-up that they have going on here. So because they're tapped in to the cameras inside of the house, and because Spencer still has a headpiece on, they're able to talk to him. Right? So he says, focus. Right? If I don't want to end up smashed to bits, then I'm going to need you two to start working together on all of this. The whole plan depends on that. Can you manage it? And because they're brother and sister, they're always bickering with each other. But Spencer says, first things first, right? We have to locate Rufus. Hit the home button, and you'll see all the cameras that I've set up throughout the school. Each one's labeled. Find Rufus and give me directions on how to get to him. Which is exactly what they did. They guide him directly to Rufus's location. And so that's when you switch over to Rufus himself. And he says, okay, Spencer said I need to make a communication device to connect with him. If I could only remember how to do that. Like, come on, dude. And only for him to come face to face with Nom Nom. And she's just like, looky here. If it ain't Rufus, right? And he's like, you must be Nom Nom. Look, we both want the same thing. Let's let's talk. Let's see if we can work things out together, which, as you know, is a non-starter because she's like, you're not even supposed to be here. I heard you got in by playing dirty. So let's see if I can't clean you up. And she sprays him down with a water hose and sends him flying through the room. He like crashes into all this old dank moldy food. And he's like, wait. Spencer said Dum Dum eats more than any kid he's ever seen. So I have an idea. So she comes busting into this old cafeteria. And she's like, I'm not done with you. And he throws this moldy food at her face, knowing this girl has to eat. Or she's hungry all the time. And she's like, good, right, I'll give you that. And so he says, I'm glad you like it because there's plenty more where that came from. So he just starts grabbing handfuls of this old moldy food and just starts chucking it into this girl's mouth, which literally leads to her just like ballooning up. Like she's just this gigantic girl, right? You're turning violet, and that's literally what it becomes. And then he realizes, oh my God, right? Because she's not feeling very good. And he's like, you're not going to do what I think you're about to do, right? And it's exactly what happens. This girl jacks everywhere, right? Literally fills the cafeteria with all this juice. And Rufus is like, that's gross. And so in that moment, Spencer walks in and is like, please tell me this is not what I think it is. And Rufus is like, just don't say it, man. Just help me out. I do not want to talk about this. And so, yeah, Trevor, what are you doing here anyway? You're supposed to be out there helping me, not.
Hello, Kimberly. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Um, I am drawing. I'm doing a study, a comic book art style study. I started this a couple of days ago, and I'm just completing it. Let me show you the full piece. This is the full piece. I decided to add some extra characters apart from just these two. I'm trying to create some sort of metal effect, but it's not working.
In here with me. And Spencer's like, yeah, the coach wasn't too happy about me helping you get an invitation. So our plans have changed. And he says, it's okay though. We can still pull this off. I rigged up a communicator and synced it with the cameras. So Edith and Bernie are on the other side, and they will guide us through all of this. Now there is a little bicker that goes on back and forth, where Rufus is just like, oh my God, like really, these guys, I've got freshman nerds helping me get through this, which pisses off Edith and Bernie, right? And it's kind of one of these funny things because the tables are turned, right? Now Rufus needs them. So this is kind of like, I mean, what if we chose not to help? Rufus and Rufus, what if we just went and played video games? Or went whack the Barbie, right? What if we decided to go do anything else other than help you? And Spencer's like, no. He didn't mean it. But Rufus, if you want to get out of here alive, tell her you didn't mean it. And Rufus is like, okay, fine, whatever. I didn't mean it. And so Spencer's like, it's cool. Everything's cool, guys. All right, let's get back to things. Make sure that we survive this whole mess. And so Bernie and Edith was like, okay, cool. Right? Here's the thing. You guys know what happened with Mom because we've been watching all the other bullies while this was going on. For the rest of them, you both need to know who you're dealing with and who's left. And so they said, we can see where you need to go, but we have no idea what you'll have to face. So be prepared for anything because this place can turn into a wonky mess. And it does. Right? I mean, you've literally got giant mechanical spiders that are being put together here and being sent after people. You've got a compactor like the one from Star Wars with spikes on the inside, where folks are being crushed by it. And I don't even want to know what happens to that guy. People are being taken by the furnace and being consumed. I told you, man, it's crazy. Right? This comic is absolutely bonkers. And while it's just kind of a splash page where like they're running through all these little parts of the gauntlet and barely escaping by the skin of their teeth, at that point, Rufus is like, dude, that was insane. And Spencer's like, yeah, I can't believe that we just made it through all of that. But it's dope that we did. And so they actually fist bump, right? They're starting to become friends, right? It's kind of, I told you guys, it's a really wholesome story when you start getting into it. They start becoming friends. And initially they're like, no, we're not friends. You're a bully who's always giving me a hard time, and I'm not that guy, right? And like, it's hilarious. Okay, so what ends up happening is that as they start making their way through this, they finally get to the base. The inside this maze. And that's when we find out, way back in the back of it, is apparently Godzilla. How it was that Coach got Godzilla into this place, I have no clue. There's also like portals to these really hellish dimensions. There's a Minotaur going around this place. There's little ghost ears that you see in Pac-Man. I mean, it's a pretty nightmarish place to be in. It's like a labyrinth from Hellraiser. The problem here is that as they start making their way to the maze, Spencer gets snatched up. He gets yanked into one of the lockers, and there's no indication of where he goes. And so in that moment, because he's the brains of the operation, Rufus reaches out to Edith and Eddie. This is like, what do I do? And they're like, you need to go find Spencer. He's somewhere else inside that house. He's not in the maze anymore. He's somewhere else in the house. So literally, Rufus has to backtrack through these other parts of the house in order to be able to find Spencer. Now, nothing terrible happens. He ends up just kind of finding Spencer sitting in a hallway, peeking around a corner, trying to keep himself from being destroyed. And that's what the two of them celebrate. And it turns out the route that had been taken by Rufus to find Spencer actually got him to the exit. They're right there. All they have to do is just run through the exit doors, and Rufus becomes the bully of the year. And so at that point, Hawk appears and is like, not close enough, chaps. Did you guys really believe you were going to be the ones to make it out of here in one piece? So now they're dealing with the guy. And so at that point, Edith and Ernie realize they need to do something. And so at that point, you jump back to the house, right? And you've got Hawk holding Spencer. And that's when he tells Rufus, we're going to take care of your friend. Then we're going to take care of you. But Rufus does something really interesting here, right? He was like, I don't even care what you do. Edith was right. You're not my friends. Anyway, the deal is off, right? And Hawk is like, what deal?
Oof. I need to add some textures. I need to add some textures over here. I'm thinking of adding one more character. Oh my god. Okay. Mm. Oh, of reason, I'm just very tired. Very tired. Um, Let me finish up the detailing of that. I'll finish up the detailing of this character. Then we'll move from there.
Talking about. And Spencer's like, Rufus, she didn't mean it. I shouldn't mean it when she said that you're not our friend. And the only reason they're coming here is to rescue me. But Rufus spills the beans. And he's like, I wanted to win the bully wars. And they agreed to help me if I left them alone all year long. And Paul's just like, look at you, man. Right? Look at you, Spencer. Who knew that you and those Chucklehead twins had some bullying in you? And Spencer's like, that's not true. We would never do that. And Hawk's just like, you're using someone else to do all of your dirty work for you. I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like a bully to me. How about you, Rufus? And Rufus is like, yeah, you're right. That's exactly the kind of thing a bully would do. Then he stops on his foot. Hawk ends up sending Spencer flying in the air. Rufus catches him and races off because he's making a beeline straight for the entrance to get himself and Spencer out of there as fast as he can. It was a ruse. The whole thing was a ruse. It was a trick. But of course Spencer's his friend now. The two of them are going for the gauntlet together. How do you not come out as friends at the end of all of that? And even Spencer tries to say, like, I'm really, really using you, Rufus. And he's like, that's the least of my concerns right now. Right? Like, we're making it out of here in one piece. The problem is that one of Hawk's henchmen end up grabbing Spencer and yanking him back. At the same time, Hawk knocks down Rufus, so he's beelining for the entrance. But then Rufus grab Spencer from Rufus, and then Rufus swings some kind of a trap that momentarily allows him to grab Spencer. Then Hawk in turn grabs Spencer from Rufus by activating a water fountain trap that says Rufus is gone. Somewhere along the line, they end up coming across a whole family of giant rats, and Hawk and his entrant and Rufus and Spencer are all running in the same direction. It's pandemonium. Right? It's absolute chaos. And the whole thing just turns into this gigantic fight where they're all literally going to blows, trying to grab Spencer. And so Spencer in all of this is just like, I am kind of tired of you all treating me like I'm your personal rat in a cage. I don't care what kind of deal was made. Maybe I'll just find my own way out. So he goes towards the exit. The whole time, Hawk and Rufus are screaming at each other while pulling Spencer in two different directions. When in the midst of it all, Hawk says, it's going to take more than just you and Rat Boy to beat me, Rufus. And this voice comes out of nowhere and says, I think we can help with that. And they look over at the entrance, the doors are open, and a dodgeball comes flying into the face of Hawk. And at that point, Rufus and Spencer are like, get in the hurry, because they showed up with all the kids who have been bullied by these guys over the course of the year. And Ernie's just like, hey guys, we found a few friends and this sweet dodgeball blaster 3000. It's a machine that shoots dodgeballs, which may very well be the greatest invention that I've ever heard of in my life. A handheld dodgeball shooter with a pack and everything. He's got this whole thing on his back full of dodgeballs. And so Hawk is like, none of you belong here. Beat it before I put a hurting on each and every one of you. And Ian says, no, right? We've let you bullies stomp all over us for way too long. We're not yours to solve. You can't just use us in your little games to make yourselves feel better, or stronger, or cooler, or whatever. We are people, and we're drawing the line here today. We are taking it all back. It's no, it's like a cartoon from when we were growing up as little kids. And I was just kind of like, yeah, this sweet dodgeball blaster 3000 as well. And so at that point, they unload on everybody. Dodgeballs just come flying in, peppering every single person. Rufus gets hit, Hawk gets hit, and once everybody's knocked down, Ian is like, ceasefire. Right? Spencer's the only guy who doesn't get hit. And he's just like, I don't know what to say. Right? And she's like, thank you, Scott. And so once they start to pick themselves back up, Spencer reaches down to Rufus and is like, I can't leave without him. I made a deal with this guy. And Rufus is like, why are you still helping me? You don't like me. I've been terrible to you your whole life. And I was using you so I can keep treating you better. I don't really get it. And Ernie says, I hate to say this, man, but I'm with Rufus. Why are you doing this? And Spencer just says, I honor my deals. Right? Rufus lived up to his side of things. What kind of person would I be if I didn't do the same? And so he says, there's nothing left but to get you that trophy. And then Rufus stops him and whispers something in his ear. And Spencer's like, are you sure? And Rufus is like, absolutely. And so once they get outside, the coach is waiting there with trophy in hand for who wins the blue. So he's like, I have to say, I'm disappointed with how long all of this is taking. And one of the guys points out, right, hey, look, I think Hawk is bringing the rat out now. And somebody else is just like, no, it's not Hawk. That's something else. It's Spencer with Rufus in the rat costume. The agreement worked out was that Spencer.
Okay. Not bad at all. Not bad. Maybe add some. Hmm. One more, I think. At least it's supposed to be one more. I'm so sleepy. Oh, I think I'll stop here for now. I'll continue later on. I'm quite tired.